Many Americans don't expect to see a balanced budget in their lifetime. That, according to a new Rasmussen poll.
Pollster Scott Rasmussen sits down with Houston's Morning News to talk about how Americans feel about the budget battle brewing in Washington. So, Scott, what are people telling you about their attitude towards seeing a balanced budget?
They don't expect to see it. Only 9% think they will live long enough to see the budget balanced for even 1 year at the federal level.
Well, that's amazing. Well, who do they blame? Is it the White House or the lawmakers on Capitol Hill?
Most people are very skeptical about the whole process. Most don't think that either side is going to seriously propose anything to address this problem before 2012. 2 out of 3 people say there's no way there will be any significant changes. And there's also the underlying reality. The last time the government spending went down from 1 year to the next in America, it was the same year that Elvis recorded his first single back in 1954.
So what was the demographic breakdown, Scott, as far as likely voters are concerned?
It's hard to talk about demographic breakdowns when just about everybody is skeptical. But younger folks, those who are 18 to 29, those who have the longest to live, they are more skeptical than their elders about the prospects for a balanced budget. And again, partly because they have no idea what it would even look like.
And they're the ones who were basically behind Barack Obama in 2008.
Yes, but this problem isn't about Barack Obama or George Bush. It is part of a long-term frustration. Voters very unhappy with both political parties. I think if voters could really have their way, both Republicans and Democrats would lose in 2012. They just haven't figured out how to make that happen.
Now, looking at the research that you've done, how worried are people about the budget?
When you ask people about it, the numbers are off the charts. They're very concerned. They're deeply concerned about passing on a burden to future generations. They don't like the idea of what it's doing to the economy right now. What's missing is some sense of what to do about it. Americans believe that as a nation we are overtaxed. Americans also underestimate the amount of taxes we pay, and so they're looking for something on the spending side, and neither political party seems to be addressing that.
Scott, what do these results tell you about voter apathy and turnout at the polls?
I think that in 2012 we will see a high turnout at the polls, not because of the budget issues, just because it's a presidential election year. One of the more fascinating things about President Barack Obama's job approval ratings in the last year and a half is they haven't moved. He's been in the mid to high 40s all the way through it, whether we have a Gulf oil spill or a Scott Brown upset in Massachusetts, the midterm elections, the health care law. What it tells me is that people have picked a team. They're either for or against. They're either Republican or Democrat, and they cheer for it just the way you would cheer for a football team or a baseball team. Unless the economy changes or unless one party really addresses the issues before us, I think it's going to be a close election.
Thank you, Scott. That's pollster Scott Rasmussen talking about his latest poll regarding Americans' attitudes towards a balanced budget and how it could all play out in 2012.